Anna Brookke, a 6-year-old black girl with worn shoes and a second-hand backpack, stands alone facing 5 angry white children in an exclusive private school hallway. Behind her cowers Eli Hart, the one-legged son of tech billionaire Victor Hart, tears streaming down his face as his expensive prosthetic leg lies detached on the marble floor. "You don't belong here," sneers the leader of the group, "neither of you." Anna's small fists clench as she stares them down, whispering, "Watch me change that." Before we dive into this powerful story about courage in the face of prejudice, I'd love to know where you're watching from today. Hit that like button if you believe friendship can overcome any obstacle, and subscribe to join our community of storytellers. How would you react if you witnessed a child standing up against injustice? Let's explore what happens when one brave little girl decides to challenge an entire system of privilege and discrimination. Anna Brookke lives in Pinewood Gardens, the struggling side of Westlake City, with her grandmother Josephine after losing both parents in a suspicious factory fire at Hart Technologies 2 years ago. Their apartment building stands as a stark contrast to the gleaming skyscrapers of downtown, where Victor Hart's company headquarters dominates the skyline, a daily reminder of the division between the two worlds. Despite their financial hardships, with Grandma Josephine working double shifts as a hospital aide, Anna excels academically at Pinewood Elementary. Her teacher, Mrs. Rodriguez, often stays after school to give Anna additional books and learning materials, amazed by how quickly the young girl absorbs new information. Anna's bedroom wall is covered with hand-drawn diagrams of machines and inventions she dreams of creating someday. One evening, while Anna helps her grandmother sort coupons at their kitchen table, a commercial for the prestigious Westlake Academy appears on their small television. The announcer speaks about a single diversity scholarship worth $50,000 per year, recently established to extend opportunities to underserved communities. Grandma Josephine pauses, scissors in hand, her eyes lighting up with possibility. "Anna, with your grades, you could apply for that." Anna looks dubious, having heard stories about how children from Pinewood are treated when they venture into the wealthy neighborhoods. Nevertheless, Grandma Josephine insists, knowing that despite Westlake Academy's history of tokenism and superficial inclusion, the educational opportunity could change Anna's life. The application process is grueling for a 6-year-old. Tests, interviews, essays, written with Grandma Josephine's help late into the night after her shifts. Hundreds of applicants from across the city compete for the single spot, many with private tutors and professional coaching. The final interview panel is chaired by none other than Victor Hart himself, whose cold blue eyes study Anna with calculated interest as she explains her dream of building safer machines so no more parents have to die at work. 2 weeks later, a sleek black car pulls up outside their apartment building, drawing curious stares from neighbors. Principal Victoria Whitmore, a tall woman with perfectly styled blonde hair and a smile that doesn't reach her eyes personally, delivers the news that Anna has been selected. While Anna jumps with excitement, Grandma Josephine notices how Principal Whitmore's gaze takes in their modest home with barely concealed disdain. As Anna runs to tell Mrs. Rodriguez the good news, Principal Whitmore pulls Grandma Josephine aside. "We're very excited about what Anna brings to our diversity initiative," she says, emphasizing the last 2 words. "There will be a photo shoot next week for our brochures. Please ensure she looks presentable." After Principal Whitmore leaves, Anna overhears her grandmother on the phone with Mrs. Rodriguez expressing mixed feelings about the scholarship. "Something doesn't feel right about how that woman looked at us," Josephine confides. Later that evening, while getting water from the kitchen, Anna overhears Principal Whitmore's voice from the television. Her grandmother forgot to turn off. "The Brooke girl will serve our purposes perfectly. Victor wants this handled exactly as planned." Anna doesn't understand what this means, but a knot forms in her stomach. On her first day at Westlake Academy, Anna wears her best dress carefully ironed by Grandma Josephine. The school's imposing stone buildings with manicured gardens make her previous school look like a shabby afterthought. Inside, marble floors and ornate woodwork create an atmosphere more suited to a museum than a place for 6-year-olds to learn and play. Anna quickly discovers she's the only black student in the entire first grade. During morning introductions, teacher Mrs. Harrington presents Anna as our scholarship student, rather than by name, causing several parents dropping off their children to whisper behind manicured hands. Anna is assigned a seat in the back corner next to a small boy who sits alone, shoulders hunched protectively. Eli Hart, the son of Victor Hart, stares at his desk, never making eye contact with anyone. Anna notices his expensive prosthetic leg visible below his uniform shorts and the way other students give his desk a wide berth. While the other children chat excitedly about summer vacations in Europe and the Hamptons, Eli silently draws elaborate mechanical designs in his notebook, his fingers moving with practiced precision. During lunch, Anna tries to sit at a table with other girls, but is told the seats are saved despite remaining empty. She ends up at the far end of Eli's table, both of them isolated in a room full of children. When Anna introduces herself, Eli briefly looks up, surprise flickering across his face before he returns to his drawing, but not before Anna notices the intricate prosthetic leg design on his paper. Anna quickly discovers that Westlake Academy operates according to unwritten rules designed to reinforce social hierarchies. Despite her perfect test scores, Mrs. Harrington either ignores her raised hand or, worse, calls on her with exaggerated enthusiasm, only to correct minor pronunciation errors in front of everyone. During morning sharing time, when Anna mentions helping her grandmother with laundry over the weekend, Sophia Wilson loudly whispers, "Ew, they probably don't even have a washing machine," causing stifled giggles. At lunch, Anna unpacks her carefully prepared peanut butter sandwich, while classmates display bento boxes with sushi and organic fruit arrangements. Her cardboard milk carton stands out among designer juice bottles. Meanwhile, Eli Hart faces a different kind of isolation. While his family's wealth places him at the top of the social hierarchy, his prosthetic leg makes him a target for whispered comments about being half a boy and robot leg. During free reading time, Anna notices 3 boys mimicking a limping walk behind Eli's back. Despite his obvious wealth from his designer clothes and custom backpack, Eli sits alone, shoulders perpetually hunched, as if trying to disappear. During outdoor play, Anna observes Eli sitting on a bench watching other children on the climbing equipment. Coach Parker, a burly man with a perpetual scowl, blows his whistle. Hart physical activity is mandatory. No exceptions. Eli reluctantly approaches the obstacle course, his prosthetic leg moving stiffly on the wood chips. "I can't do the hurdles, sir. My prosthetic isn't designed for jumping." Coach Parker folds his arms. "Rules apply to everyone. Your father didn't pay full tuition for you to sit around." With the entire class watching, Eli attempts the first hurdle. His prosthetic catches on the bar, sending him tumbling forward. The metal joint connecting his prosthetic to his residual limb twists unnaturally, and with a sickening pop, the leg detaches completely. Scattered laughter erupts from several students. "Looks like Hart fell apart again," someone whispers loudly. Coach Parker sighs with theatrical disappointment. "Someone help Hart to the nurse." Again. Before anyone else moves, Anna rushes forward, kneeling beside Eli. The prosthetic is clearly sophisticated with hydraulic components and carbon fiber elements. "I know a little about machines," she says quietly. "May I?" Eli nods, tears of humiliation streaming down his face. Anna carefully examines the connection mechanism, noticing how the pins align with the socket on his residual limb. With gentle movements, she helps reposition the prosthetic and lock it back into place. "My grandma says all machines need respect," she explains, as she works, "even the ones that are part of us." She offers her hand, helping Eli to his feet. Coach Parker dismisses them both with a wave. "Take him to Nurse Jenkins just to be safe." As they walk slowly across the field, Anna notices everyone staring. "They'll find something new to talk about tomorrow," she reassures him, though she's not convinced herself. In the quiet of the empty hallway, Eli finally speaks. "Thank you. Most people are either scared to touch it or treat it like a toy." The nurse's office is unoccupied, with a note indicating Nurse Jenkins is at lunch. They sit in the waiting area, an unexpected moment of peace in the chaotic school day. Eli gestures to his prosthetic. "It's the newest model from Adaptive Technologies. Dad's company makes them. Anna leans forward with genuine interest. How does it work? Does it hurt? For the first time, Eli's face brightens with animation as he explains the hydraulic systems and pressure sensors. I helped design some of the comfort features, he says with a hint of pride. I want to make better ones someday so kids can run and jump normally. Anna shares her own interest in engineering, pulling out a folded paper from her pocket with a design for a machine that would help her grandmother sort laundry faster. Eli points out ways to improve the gear mechanism, and soon they're exchanging ideas about inventions they dream of creating. Eli reveals that since his mother's death and the skiing accident that cost him his leg 2 years ago, his father has become emotionally distant, burying himself in work and leaving Eli with a rotation of nannies and tutors. He can build the world's most advanced prosthetic, but can't make it to my school presentations, Eli says, tracing a pattern on the vinyl chair. Anna shares about losing her parents in the factory fire and her dreams of becoming an engineer to make workplaces safer. Grandma says we have to turn our hurt into help for others, she explains. By the time Nurse Jenkins returns, a connection has formed between them, two outsiders finding unexpected common ground. Their budding friendship doesn't go unnoticed. The next day at lunch, as Anna and Eli share a table discussing modifications to his prosthetic design, a man in a dark suit approaches. Mr. Anna Hart, your father has arranged a private lunch area for you, he states, placing a hand firmly on Eli's shoulder. This way, please. Eli hesitates. Can Anna come too? The security guard glances dismissively at Anna. Mr. Hart's instructions were specific. You, alone. As Eli is led away, he looks back apologetically. That afternoon, Anna is called to Principal Whitmore's office. Behind the massive desk, Principal Whitmore's smile is tight and practiced. Anna, I understand you've been spending time with Eli Hart. Before Anna can respond, she continues. While we encourage friendly interaction between all students, Eli requires special considerations given his unique circumstances. She slides a folder across the desk. I've received a call from Victor Hart himself. He feels that your presence is a distraction from Eli's recovery process. The folder contains a notice placing Anna on academic probation for unspecified behavioral concerns, with a warning that continued issues could jeopardize her scholarship. We have high expectations at Westlake Academy, Principal Whitmore concludes. I'd hate to see you waste this opportunity your people rarely receive. Despite the official barriers placed between them, Anna and Eli devise creative ways to maintain their growing friendship. They exchange notes, hidden in library books, develop a system of hand signals across the classroom, and identify overlooked corners of the campus where they can briefly talk between classes. Their determination grows, with each obstacle transforming what might have been a casual friendship into a meaningful alliance against the isolation both face for different reasons. During a rainy day indoor recess, Anna discovers a maintenance door left ajar near the cafeteria. Curiosity draws her down a narrow staircase to the school basement, a stark contrast to the polished hallways above. Among storage rooms and humming mechanical equipment, she finds a forgotten maintenance room, filled with old desks and outdated computer equipment. The space, with its small window providing limited natural light, becomes their secret sanctuary. Eli, using resources from his father's extensive home workshop, begins smuggling in tools and electronic components hidden in his backpack and prosthetic leg compartment. Anna brings engineering books borrowed from the public library near her grandmother's apartment. Together, they transform the dusty room into their private robotics lab, cleaning surfaces after hours, when Anna stays late for her scholarship student study requirements and Eli for his physical therapy sessions. Their shared project quickly takes shape, designing an improved prosthetic leg that would allow Eli to run and jump like other children. The current models prioritize aesthetics over functionality. Eli explains sketching on graph paper. Dad's company makes them look real, but they don't move naturally. Anna, drawing from her intuitive understanding of mechanics, suggests hydraulic improvements. What if we created a system that stores energy when you walk, then releases it when you need to jump? As their underground robotics club flourishes, Anna begins noticing disturbing patterns throughout her school days. Security guards appear in hallways whenever she changes classes, their eyes tracking her movements. When she uses the computer lab, the librarian hovers nearby, monitoring her screen. After achieving the highest score on a science test about simple machines, Mrs. Harrington holds her after class. "Anna, I'm concerned about this perfect score," she says, her voice carrying false concern. "Such advanced understanding, Island. Unusual. Are you certain you completed this work independently?" Despite Anna's assurances, the teacher makes a note in her file. The following morning, Anna arrives to find her cubby, searched her notebooks, flipped through. When she raises her hand in math class, Mrs. Harrington calls on 3 other students before reluctantly acknowledging her. "Yes, our scholarship student," she says, emphasizing Anna's status rather than using her name. After correctly solving a complex word problem, Mrs. Harrington responds with visible surprise. "Well, that's correct. Someone must have been practicing at home." After school, Anna finds her locker vandalized with the words "charity case" written across it in permanent marker. When she reports this to Mr. Reeves, the head of security, he reviews the hallway camera footage only to claim it malfunctioned during the specific time period in question. "Perhaps you wrote it yourself for attention," he suggests with a smirk. Eli witnesses this exchange from around the corner, his face flushing with anger. That evening in their secret lab, he shows Anna a leather-bound notebook. "I've been documenting everything," he explains, flipping through pages of detailed notes about the discrimination Anna faces daily. "The way they treat you isn't right. Dad always says evidence is power." Using his access to his father's home office, Eli has also discovered troubling information about Hart Technologies. "I found these files about the factory where your parents worked," he says, sliding printouts from his notebook. The documents reveal potential safety violations that were covered up after the fire, including disabled alarm systems and locked emergency exits. "Dad's company settled several lawsuits, but yours wasn't among them." "Why didn't your grandmother sue?" Anna's hands tremble as she examines the papers. "She tried, but the lawyers said we didn't have enough proof. The company claimed my parents caused the accident by not following procedures." Their investigation is interrupted by voices in the corridor outside. Pressing against the door, they overhear Principal Whitmore and Victor Hart discussing Anna's scholarship. "She's perfect for the diversity campaign," Principal Whitmore says. "We've already featured her in the new brochures. The board is pleased with the optics." Victor Hart's deep voice responds coldly. "Just ensure she doesn't advance too far academically. We need a face, not a challenger to the natural order." "My contacts at Pinewood Elementary confirmed she tested in the gifted range, but that information doesn't need to follow her here." Do you believe someone's background should determine their opportunities in life? Comment number 1 if you think every child deserves equal treatment, regardless of their economic status. This story about Anna and Eli reveals how systemic discrimination can exist even in the most prestigious institutions. Have you ever witnessed or experienced unfair treatment because of who you are? Like this video if you believe friendship can give us strength to overcome prejudice. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories about courage and resilience. What do you think will happen when these 2 brilliant children discover the truth about what connects their families, and how far will powerful people go to maintain control when children start asking dangerous questions? The answer might surprise you as our story continues. Westlake Academy's annual Founders Gala transforms the school into a showcase of wealth and influence. Crystal chandeliers illuminate the gymnasium, temporarily converted with silk draperies and floral arrangements, costing more than Grandma Josephine's monthly rent. Parents in designer evening wear sip champagne while bidding astronomical amounts on student art projects, all to demonstrate their philanthropic generosity while networking with other elite families. Anna watches from the kitchen doorway where scholarship students are assigned to help serve refreshments rather than participate. She carefully balances a tray of hors d'oeuvres, having been sternly warned by Mrs. Harrington that any mishap would reflect poorly on her continuing scholarship evaluation. From across the room she spots Eli standing uncomfortably beside his father. Victor Hart commands attention in a perfectly tailored tuxedo, his hand occasionally resting on his son's shoulder in a gesture that appears affectionate to onlookers but feels mechanical and performative to Eli. The evening's highlight arrives when Victor Hart takes the stage, his charismatic presence immediately silencing the crowd. Tonight, Hart Technologies is proud to announce a special initiative to inspire the next generation of innovators. He announces, his voice amplified through the room. We will donate $10 million to the school's science program if any student team can design a truly innovative medical device that meets our evaluation criteria. Excited murmurs ripple through the crowd as he continues. The winning team will also receive a special mentorship program at Hart Technologies' research division. Anna and Eli exchange glances across the room, a silent agreement passing between them. Their prosthetic design could qualify if they can complete it in time for the submission deadline 4 weeks away. The following day, Anna discovers that the discrimination she faces has intensified. Her gym clothes mysteriously disappear from her locker, forcing her to participate in her regular uniform. 5 demerits for improper athletic attire, Coach Parker announces loudly, marking his clipboard. In the cafeteria, she notices her lunch portions are noticeably smaller than those served to other students. When she politely points this out, the lunch lady glares. Be grateful for what you're given. Some people need to learn their place. Anonymous notes begin appearing in her desk. Go back where you belong, and scholarship charity written in childish but hurtful handwriting. Grandma Josephine notices Anna's increasing anxiety, the way she grows quiet after school, sometimes staring into space during dinner. Baby girl, what's happening at that fancy school? She asks one evening, gently brushing Anna's hair. If they're not treating you right, you don't have to stay. No education is worth your spirit. Anna considers telling her grandmother everything but remembers the factory documents, the chance to create something meaningful with Eli, the opportunity to prove herself despite the obstacles. I'm just adjusting, Grandma. I want to stay. Their secret project progresses rapidly despite the challenges. Eli, with his intimate knowledge of prosthetic technology, focuses on the integration of lightweight materials and pressure sensors. Anna, drawing on her intuitive understanding of physics, develops an energy-storing spring mechanism that captures kinetic energy during regular walking and releases it when needed for running or jumping. One evening, working later than planned, they hear voices approaching their hidden laboratory. Quickly dimming the lights, they press against the wall behind storage shelves as the door opens partially. The maintenance budget needs review. Principal Whitmore's voice echoes in the corridor. Several areas in the basement show signs of recent use. The deeper voice of Victor Hart responds impatiently. I didn't come here to discuss maintenance, Victoria. The scholarship situation needs containment. Their footsteps pause just outside the room. The board has questions about our selection process. Principal Whitmore continues. Board member Crawford specifically asked why we chose a student connected to the factory incident. Victor Hart's voice drops to a dangerous tone. Vincent needs to remember who funded his last political campaign. We selected the Brooke girl precisely because of that connection. Having her here gives us leverage against her grandmother's lawsuit while showcasing our commitment to diversity. It's strategic. Principal Whitmore's voice carries a note of concern. But if anyone discovers the deliberate selection, no one will, Victor interrupts sharply. The girl's grandmother is struggling financially since being demoted at the hospital. Another unfortunate accident in her background check. A few more months of mounting bills and she'll accept our settlement offer to drop the wrongful death claim completely. Problem solved. Their voices fade as they continue down the corridor, leaving Anna frozen in shock. Eli reaches for her hand in the darkness, his fingers closing around hers in silent support. The next day, Victor Hart makes an unannounced visit to Westlake Academy, ostensibly to review plans for the science competition. As Anna watches from her classroom window, Eli is summoned from math class to meet with his father. Hours later, Eli fails to appear at their regular meeting time in the secret lab. When Anna enters alone, she senses immediately that something is wrong. Tools have been slightly rearranged, papers moved fractionally from their previous positions. Though nothing is obviously missing, the space feels violated, as if carefully examined by someone trying to leave no trace. A maintenance cart sits in the hallway outside, not present during their previous meeting. The security guard patrols have increased with regular checks of the basement area, now occurring hourly. Despite the risk, Anna and Eli continue their work, adding security measures to their lab, a bell string on the outer door, a makeshift lock code words to use in school to signal danger. With 2 days remaining before the project submission deadline, they complete the prototype prosthetic. Unlike the sleek, flesh-toned models from Hart Technologies, their design prioritizes functionality, a lightweight carbon composite frame with visible hydraulic components and the spring-based energy return system Anna designed. It's not pretty, Eli acknowledges, examining their creation. But if it works like we calculated, I could run again. Maybe even jump. Anna smiles, imagining him playing normally with other children. Sometimes the most beautiful things are the ones that work the best. On the morning of the submission deadline, Anna arrives early at school, excitement, battling with nervousness as she contemplates presenting their prosthetic prototype. She and Eli had agreed to meet in their secret lab before classes to make final adjustments and prepare their documentation. When Eli doesn't appear at their designated time, Anna tries calling the special phone he's smuggled into their workspace for emergencies, but receives no answer. The first bell rings, forcing her to head to class without answers. During morning announcements, Principal Whitmore's voice crackles over the intercom with unusual enthusiasm. Students and faculty, we have a special presentation this morning. Please proceed to the auditorium immediately for an announcement from Mr. Victor Hart. In the auditorium, Anna scans the crowd for Eli, finally spotting him entering through a side door, with his father's hand firmly gripping his shoulder. Eli's face is pale, his eyes downcast, refusing to look in Anna's direction despite her attempts to catch his attention. Victor Hart strides confidently to the center stage, his custom-made Italian shoes clicking against the polished wood. Eli follows reluctantly, his movements stiff and unnatural. Westlake Academy has always fostered innovation. Victor begins his practiced smile, never reaching his eyes. Today, I'm proud to announce that my son, Eli Hart, has designed a revolutionary prosthetic system that will transform mobility options for children with limb differences. 2 assistants wheel out a display table covered in black velvet. With theatrical flourish, Victor removes the covering to reveal their prototype, the exact model Anna and Eli created together in the basement laboratory. Eli's innovative design incorporates a kinetic energy storage system and adaptive pressure response. Victor continues using the exact terminology from Anna's notebooks. Hart Technologies will develop this concept into a full product line, with proceeds benefiting the Westlake Academy Science Foundation. Throughout the presentation, Eli stands motionless beside his father, his eyes fixed on the floor. Principal Whitmore joins them on stage, beaming with practiced delight. "We're so proud of Eli's individual genius," she gushes, placing a hand on his shoulder. This exemplifies the exceptional students Westlake Academy produces. Not once during the entire presentation is Anna's name mentioned. Her contribution, her ideas, her drawings, her late nights solving mechanical challenges erased completely. The audience applauds enthusiastically, teachers nodding with approval, students whispering about the famous inventor's son. Anna sits frozen in her seat, a cold numbness spreading through her chest as her hands clench into tight fists in her lap. During lunch period, Anna finally manages to corner Eli alone in the library reference section. "How could you?" she whispers, fiercely, tears threatening despite her determination to remain strong. "We were partners. We built that together." Eli glances nervously toward the security guard visible through the library windows. "I had no choice," he whispers, his voice barely audible. "My father threatened your scholarship. He knows about our lab, Anna. He knows everything." He slips a folded paper into her hand, just as the security guard approaches. "Mr. Hart, your father instructed that you're not to speak with scholarship students without supervision," the guard states flatly. "Miss Brookke, you're needed in Principal Whitmore's office." Anna unfolds the note in the bathroom before heading to the principal's office. Eli's hurried handwriting reads, "Don't trust anyone. Meet me tonight. I can explain. Principal Whitmore's office feels colder than usual, the large windows casting harsh light across her immaculate desk. She slides a document toward Anna without preamble. I regret to inform you that your scholarship has been revoked effective immediately. The document cites unauthorized use of school facilities and violation of academic integrity guidelines as justifications. Your personal items will be packed and ready for your grandmother to collect this afternoon. Principal Whitmore continues without emotion. Hart Technologies has been generous enough to provide transportation home for you today. Outside the office, Anna finds one of Victor's security personnel waiting to escort her from the building. As she's led toward the exit, she catches a glimpse of Eli watching from the second floor, landing his expression a mixture of guilt and desperation. That afternoon, Grandma Josephine receives devastating news of her own. The bank has reassessed their mortgage terms due to a routine credit check, resulting in their monthly payment doubling immediately. "I don't understand," she tells the bank manager, who avoids meeting her eyes. "Nothing in our agreement allows for this kind of increase." The manager slides paperwork across the desk. "The fine print gives us discretion in certain circumstances, Mrs. Brooke. Perhaps you should consider selling the property." When they return home, eviction papers wait on their door, giving them 72 hours to vacate for failure to maintain property to neighborhood standards. Inside, Grandma Josephine collapses into a kitchen chair, the weight of their situation finally breaking her carefully maintained composure. "Maybe we should take their offer, Anna," she whispers, pulling out a letter from Hart Technologies offering a modest settlement in exchange for dropping all claims related to the factory accident. "We can't fight people with that kind of power." As evening falls, they begin packing essential belongings, uncertain where they'll go when the eviction deadline arrives. A soft knock at their back door startles them both. Anna opens it cautiously to find Eli standing in the darkness, his prosthetic leg partially concealed under long pants, a backpack clutched tightly against his chest. "I had to come," he says, his voice trembling. "I had to tell you the truth." Inside, he reveals the contents of his backpack, recorded conversations from his father's home office documents, detailing the factory accident cover-up and internal memos about Hart Technologies' systematic discrimination against numerous employees and families who raised safety concerns. "Dad staged everything." Eli explains, his words tumbling out rapidly. "He chose you for the scholarship because your grandmother refused their initial settlement offer after the accident. He wanted you close where they could pressure your family while appearing generous publicly. He shows them photos of other families who faced similar tactics, employees who reported safety violations, finding themselves suddenly unemployed with unexplainable credit problems and housing issues. They call it problem family containment," Eli continues. "Dad has a whole department that handles people who might cause the company legal problems." Grandma Josephine studies the documents with growing anger. "All this time I thought we were just unlucky. The denied promotion, the increased rent, the car problems." Eli nods grimly. None of it was coincidence. "And it's not just you. There are dozens of families." He pulls out a final document, a transfer order with his name. "Dad's sending me to a boarding school in Switzerland next week. He says it's for specialized physical therapy, but it's really to separate us." He knows we've figured it out. As the full scope of Victor Hart's manipulation becomes clear, Anna's initial shock transforms into determination. "We can fight this," she insists, spreading the documents across the kitchen table. With this evidence, Eli interrupts, his expression grave beyond his 6 years. "Dad has judges and politicians in his pocket. We need more than documents. We need a plan." With nowhere else to go after the eviction, Anna and Grandma Josephine temporarily move in with their neighbor, Gloria Washington, a retired civil rights attorney, whose modest apartment overflows with legal books and framed newspaper, clippings from landmark discrimination cases. When Gloria reviews the evidence Eli provided, her initial skepticism transforms into focused determination. "This isn't just about two families," she declares, adjusting her reading glasses as she examines internal Hart Technologies memos. "This is systematic discrimination and corporate intimidation. I've seen these tactics before, but rarely documented this extensively." 72 years old with arthritis in her hands. but sharpness undiminished in her mind, Gloria retrieves a locked filing cabinet key from around her neck. After the Brown case in '58, I started keeping records of corporate discrimination patterns. She produces dozens of files with names, dates, and incident reports spanning decades. Hart Technologies appears in my records 27 times, always with the same approach. Create a problem, offer a solution that requires silence, then crush those who refuse to comply. Using her extensive network of former colleagues, Gloria connects with the Equal Justice Initiative, who revealed dozens of similar cases involving both Hart Technologies and Westlake Academy. Their research uncovers that Anna wasn't the first diversity scholarship recipient to experience sudden academic concerns and scholarship termination. In fact, every previous scholarship recipient left within one semester, their families relocating shortly thereafter with unexplained financial difficulties. It's a perfect system, Gloria explains over dinner at her kitchen table. They get the publicity of appearing inclusive and philanthropic, while ensuring no one from outside their social circle actually succeeds or remains in their space. Meanwhile, Eli faces his father's wrath for his unauthorized absence. "You deliberately disobeyed security protocols," Victor thunders, pacing his modernist living room, overlooking the city lights. "Do you understand the risks? The people who would exploit you to get to me." Eli's attempt to defend Anna only intensifies his father's anger. "That scholarship girl is using you, Eli. Her family has been trying to extract money from this company for years with frivolous claims. Now they're manipulating a child to get what they want." Victor restricts Eli to their mansion's grounds, confiscates all his electronics, and assigns a security guard to monitor him constantly. His tutor, Mr. Phillips, becomes his only connection to the outside world, bringing assignments daily and returning completed work to Westlake Academy. Through a system of coded messages hidden in his mathematics homework equations, where certain numbers and variables spell out words when properly decoded, Eli manages to communicate vital information. Leaving Friday. Zurich one message reads alerting Anna that his departure for the Swiss boarding school has been accelerated. Anna intercepts these messages by waiting near the coffee shop Mr. Tem. Phillips visits after collecting Eli's work, creating accidental encounters that allow her to glimpse the papers in his briefcase or car seat. Gloria, Anna, and a growing alliance of former Hart employees formulate a plan to expose the systemic discrimination. They identify Beth Reynolds, Victor's personal assistant for 15 years, as a potential ally after finding her name referenced in several emails expressing concerns about company practices. "She has access to everything," Gloria explains. And according to these messages, she's been documenting her own concerns for years. The challenge becomes making contact with Beth without alerting Victor's extensive security network. They discover Beth visits her mother at Pinecrest Nursing Home every Wednesday evening, creating their only opportunity for a private conversation away from Hart Technologies' surveillance. Anna, accompanying Gloria, under the pretense of visiting a fictitious relative, manages to approach Beth in the facility garden. Initially, suspicious Beth's demeanor changes when Anna mentions specific details from internal memos. "I've been gathering evidence for years," Beth confirms in hushed tones, glancing nervously around the empty garden. "Victor's containment protocols have destroyed dozens of families. I wanted to come forward, but you were afraid of losing your job." Gloria finishes for her. Beth's bitter laugh holds no humor. "My job, I was afraid of losing everything. You don't know what he's capable of." Despite her fears, Beth provides access codes to Victor's private servers and confirms the existence of Protocol Omega, the company's most aggressive containment strategy for individuals who threaten company interests. "He's accelerated Eli's departure to Switzerland," Beth reveals. "The jet is scheduled for 6 a.m. Friday instead of next week. Once Eli's out of the country, Victor will ensure you never reach him again." With time running out, they learn that Victor has scheduled a major announcement at the Westview Academy Innovation Award ceremony Thursday evening, where he'll publicly present the prosthetic design as Hart Technologies' newest breakthrough and donate $10 million to the school's science program. "That's our only chance," Gloria decides. We need to confront him publicly with witnesses and evidence too substantial to dismiss. Do you think children should stand up against powerful adults when they witness injustice? Comment number 1. If you believe even the youngest voices deserve to be heard when fighting for what's right. This story reveals how courage can come from unexpected places, and how even children can recognize and challenge unfairness. Have you ever witnessed a moment when someone small stood up against something big and powerful? Like this video, if you believe in the power of unlikely alliances to create change. Subscribe for more stories about underdogs who refuse to accept the limitations others place on them. What lengths will Victor Hart go to in order to silence those who threaten his carefully constructed image, and will these children find a way to expose the truth before it's too late? The confrontation at the Innovation Awards ceremony will test not just their courage, but the community's willingness to acknowledge uncomfortable truths about one of its most powerful members. The Westlake Academy Innovation Showcase transforms the school into a glittering testament to wealth and prestige. Media crews from national networks position cameras throughout the ornate main hall prepared to document Victor Hart's philanthropic gesture. Security personnel with earpieces and subtle bulges beneath tailored jackets monitor every entrance, checking invitations against electronic databases. Guests in formal attire arrive in luxury vehicles, creating a parade of conspicuous affluence. The evening represents the most prestigious event in the school's history, with politicians, celebrities, and business leaders in attendance, all eager to associate themselves with Victor Hart's technological empire. Gloria leverages decades of legal connections to secure invitations for herself and Anna as representatives of the fictional Future Innovators Foundation. Anna, dressed in a borrowed blue dress, with her hair styled by Gloria's sister, looks transformed from the scrappy girl in second-hand clothes. "Remember," Gloria whispers, as they approach the security checkpoint, "we're here to observe until all our allies are in position. No confrontation until the signal." Inside the opulent hall, they navigate carefully through Westlake's elite Gloria, nodding to former clients and colleagues strategically positioned throughout the crowd. Some wear server uniforms, others blend in as guests, each representing families impacted by Hart Technology's discriminatory practices over the years. Beth Reynolds has provided them with the evening's precise schedule, allowing them to coordinate their movements with military precision. Anna spots Eli in a private balcony, overlooking the main stage, flanked by 2 security guards dressed as private tutors. Unlike the confident boy who shared mechanical designs in their secret laboratory, this Eli sits rigidly in a perfectly tailored suit, his expression vacant, as if heavily medicated. When the lights dim, signaling the presentation's beginning, Victor Hart strides onto the stage to enthusiastic applause. His charismatic presence commands immediate attention, his voice carrying effortlessly through the hall without a microphone. Innovation isn't just about technology. He begins gesturing expansively. It's about transforming lives. Behind him, a massive screen displays emotional images of children with prosthetic limbs running and playing. Tonight, Hart Technologies is proud to present the future of adaptive mobility. With theatrical timing, assistants wheel out a glass display case containing the prosthetic Anna and Eli created together, now rebranded with the Hart Technologies logo and sleek corporate aesthetics. The Hart Kinetic Prosthetic System represents a breakthrough in energy return technology. Victor continues using terminology directly from Anna's notebooks. This innovation will form the cornerstone of our new humanitarian division, bringing mobility solutions to children worldwide. The audience applauds on cue cameras panning across the emotional faces of attendees. And to demonstrate this revolutionary technology, Victor announces with practiced warmth, "Please welcome my son, Eli Hart." The balcony door opens as Eli is guided toward the main staircase by his handlers. His movements appear mechanical, his expression still unnaturally blank. As he reaches the stage, Victor places a proprietary hand on his shoulder. Eli's personal experience inspired this breakthrough. He'll now demonstrate the prototype's capabilities. Eli steps forward to the microphone, his eyes scanning the audience until they lock with Anna's. Something shifts in his expression, a flicker of recognition breaking through whatever sedative effect controls his demeanor. He glances at the teleprompter, displaying his scripted testimony, then back to Anna. In that moment, a silent communication passes between them, the same unspoken understanding that fueled their partnership. This prosthetic was designed to help children like me. Eli begins following the script. Then, deviating suddenly, he continues. But I didn't create it alone. My partner Anna Brookke deserves equal credit. She's here tonight. Security personnel immediately straighten hands, moving toward concealed earpieces as Victor's smile freezes in place. Eli continues rapidly before anyone can stop him. My father took our design, claimed I created it alone, and terminated Anna's scholarship when we discovered documents about the factory accident that killed her parents. A technician cuts Eli's microphone, but the damage is done. Murmurs spread through the audience as security guards move toward the stage. Victor steps forward, his media-trained smile never wavering. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for this unfortunate situation. My son has been struggling emotionally since his accident and sometimes creates elaborate fantasies to cope with his trauma. Please let's give him privacy during this difficult moment. As guards surround Eli, Gloria rises from her seat, her commanding voice carrying through the hall without amplification, a skill developed through decades in courtrooms. Mr. Hart is lying to you all. I have evidence of systematic discrimination and corporate intimidation spanning 20 years. From different points around the room, others stand in coordinated succession, each introducing themselves and briefly stating their connection to Hart Technologies' discriminatory practices. Hart Technologies fired my husband after he reported safety violations, then blacklisted him throughout the industry. My daughter's scholarship was revoked after she achieved the highest test scores in her grade. My family was evicted from our home after I filed a workers' compensation claim. Victor Hart signals frantically to security as cameras swivel toward these unexpected testimonies. These are disgruntled former employees making baseless accusations, he announces, maintaining his composure despite the chaos. Security, please escort these individuals out. As guards move through the crowd, Beth Reynolds steps forward from near the stage. I've worked as Victor Hart's personal assistant for 15 years, she states clearly, her voice trembling but determined. I have documented proof of what he calls containment protocols used against families like the Brookes. She holds up a flash drive, including recorded conversations about manipulating scholarship selections to pressure lawsuit settlements. With cameras now focused entirely on the unfolding drama, Anna makes her way toward Eli, who has taken advantage of the confusion to break away from his handlers. They meet at the edge of the stage as security personnel create a perimeter around Victor. Eli's movements remain sluggish from whatever medication he's been given, but his eyes are clear and determined. They've been sedating me since I returned from your house, he whispers. Dad said it was for anxiety. Together they approach the display case containing their prosthetic. With practiced movements, Anna helps Eli remove his current prosthetic and attach their prototype as cameras capture every moment. The design looks rough compared to the polished Hart Technologies products with exposed mechanisms and unfinished edges, but as Eli stands and takes his first steps with it, the difference becomes immediately apparent. His gait smooths out, becoming more natural than his previous mechanical stride. With Anna's supporting hand on his elbow, Eli begins walking faster, then breaks into a run across the stage, something his father repeatedly claimed would be impossible with his condition. The audience gasps collectively as Eli completes a full circuit of the stage, moving with greater freedom than he's experienced since his accident. This is what true innovation looks like. Anna announces, her young voice carrying surprising authority. Not stealing ideas and silencing people, but working together to solve real problems. As security guards close and media cameras capture everything, broadcasting live to thousands of viewers who witness the unfolding truth about one of America's most celebrated entrepreneurs. The morning after the Innovation Showcase, newspapers and news websites across the country feature variations of the same headline: Billionaire's son exposes father's discriminatory empire. Video clips of Eli running with the prosthetic he and Anna designed circulate widely on social media, accompanied by footage of former employees sharing their experiences of Hart Technologies' intimidation tactics. Inside his steel and glass penthouse office, Victor Hart conducts crisis management with military precision. Dozens of public relations, specialists, lawyers, and security consultants rotating through strategy sessions. "We control the narrative," he insists, pounding his fist on the conference table. This is a temporary setback, nothing more. Hart Technologies' official response emerges by mid-afternoon, a carefully crafted statement expressing concern about Eli's deteriorating mental state following his traumatic accident. The company's PR team releases medical reports suggesting Eli suffers from confabulation disorder, causing him to create false memories and form unhealthy attachments to manipulation by opportunists targeting a vulnerable child. National media outlets, many with advertising contracts or ownership connections to Hart Technologies' parent company, begin shifting their coverage. Questions emerge about child exploitation in Hart Technologies' controversy, reads one headline. Sources close to the family express concern that Eli Hart is being manipulated by adults with financial motives, reports another. Within 24 hours, Child Protective Services arrives at Gloria Washington's apartment, 2 caseworkers accompanied by police officers. "We've received concerning reports about a minor being exploited for publicity purposes," the lead caseworker explains, presenting court documents. Eli Hart needs to be placed in a secure environment while investigations proceed. Despite Gloria's legal objections citing her credentials and the suspicious timing, Eli is removed to an undisclosed evaluation facility pending further investigation. Simultaneously, Westlake Academy issues a press release announcing its scholarship program will be restructured for greater transparency and inclusivity, while maintaining that no institutional discrimination occurred under current Providence administration. "We take these allegations seriously and are committed to a thorough review," Principal Whitmore states in a prepared video statement, her practiced concern appearing genuinely remorseful to those unaware of her involvement. For witnesses who spoke out during the showcase, swift consequences follow. 3 former employees report receiving termination notices from their current jobs for undisclosed policy violations. Others discover their bank accounts suddenly flagged for routine security reviews, freezing their assets temporarily. Gloria's neighbor, who provided video testimony, finds his small business undergoing an unexpected tax audit. Beth Reynolds' apartment shows signs of being searched, electronic devices missing upon her return from work. Anna faces particularly vicious online harassment, with anonymous accounts claiming she manipulated a disabled child for financial gain and exploited a trauma victim for attention. Carefully edited video clips appear showing only segments of her helping Eli with the prosthetic, narrated to suggest she forced him to participate against his will. The family's wrongful death lawsuit faces new motions to dismiss, with Hart Technologies' legal team filing thousands of pages of technical objections requiring responses that would bankrupt most law firms. Gloria, having witnessed similar tactics throughout her career, recognizes the coordinated suppression strategy. This is textbook corporate defense discredit. Witnesses isolate key figures, overwhelm with legal paperwork, and wait for resources to run out, she explains to Grandma Josephine and Anna. But they've overlooked something important. We anticipated this response. Using Beth's security access before it was revoked, they discovered Victor had initiated Protocol Firewall, a comprehensive strategy documented in company files, detailing exactly how to discredit accusers through coordinated media, manipulation, financial pressure, and legal maneuvering. They're following their own playbook, Gloria notes, comparing recent events to the documented strategy, which means we can predict their next moves. Through a secure channel established before the showcase, they learn that Eli is being held at a private medical facility, owned by a Hart Technologies subsidiary, officially receiving trauma therapy, but effectively under house arrest. Medical notes leaked by a sympathetic nurse indicate he's being administered sedatives classified as anxiety medication to keep him compliant. More disturbing travel documents reveal Victor has arranged private transportation to relocate Eli to a Hart property in Switzerland within 48 hours, placing him beyond U.S. jurisdiction. With traditional communication channels monitored, Anna devises an ingenious solution to maintain contact with Eli. Remembering their shared interest in astronomy, she creates coded messages in public astronomy forum discussions, using constellation references and star catalog numbers that translate to coordinates and timestamps. Through this system, Eli manages to communicate using a computer during his educational therapy sessions, revealing his father's plans and his closely monitored situation. Not allowed visitors. Doctors say I'm confused. Planning overseas transfer soon. Need help. With time critical, Gloria coordinates a multi-pronged strategy, filing emergency court orders, challenging Eli's removal from the country, based on witness testimony concerns leaking key documents to journalists with no financial ties to Hart Enterprises, and preparing for a direct confrontation at the upcoming Hart Technologies annual shareholder meeting, where Victor cannot avoid public scrutiny. Anna works tirelessly alongside Gloria, her 6-year-old determination proving invaluable as she recalls specific details from conversations and documents. Mr. Love 7. Hart mentioned the shareholder proxy votes during our robotics meetings, she explains. He said he always ensures certain board members receive their instructions the day before to prevent last-minute changes. This information allows them to identify potential allies among board members who might resent Victor's controlling management style. As preparations continue, Anna receives an unexpected visitor. Mrs. Rodriguez, her former teacher from Pinewood Elementary, arrives at Gloria's apartment with a thick folder. These are Anna's test results and project evaluations from the past 2 years, she explains. Including IQ assessments, placing her in the top 0.1% nationally documentation Westlake Academy claimed never existed when revoking her scholarship. The teacher reveals she's been contacted by Hart Technologies representatives offering a substantial educational grant in exchange for surrendering Anna's records. They wanted to erase evidence of her capabilities, she explains, to support their claim that she couldn't have contributed meaningfully to the prosthetic design. With each attempted suppression, their evidence file grows, painting a damning picture of systematic discrimination and corporate intimidation extending far beyond a single scholarship or factory accident. As the shareholder meeting approaches, Victor Hart makes a critical miscalculation. Believing the situation contained through media manipulation and legal maneuvering, he fails to recognize the growing network of allies surrounding Anna and Gloria. People who have waited years for an opportunity to expose Hart Technologies practices and now see their chance through a determined 6-year-old girl and her unlikely friendship with a billionaire's son. The Hart Technologies shareholder meeting transforms the company's ultra-modern headquarters into a fortress of security and corporate pageantry. Private security personnel scan guests with metal detectors while reviewing identification against approved lists. Media access is strictly controlled, limited to financial journalists from publications with established relationships to Hart Enterprises. Inside the vast auditorium, 300 of the wealthiest and most influential investors in the country settle into ergonomic chairs prepared for Victor Hart's annual masterclass in corporate confidence. Massive screens display real-time stock values and quarterly earnings reports showing record profits despite recent public relations challenges. Victor Hart strides onto the stage with practiced authority, his tailored suit and perfectly timed smile projecting absolute control. Ladies and gentlemen, Hart Technologies continues its unprecedented growth trajectory. He begins launching into a presentation highlighting innovation metrics and market expansion. Despite recent distractions, our core business fundamentals remain stronger than ever. As he proceeds through prepared remarks, a subtle disruption occurs at the technical control booth. Beth Reynolds, having retained her access credentials despite being placed on administrative leave, overrides security protocols with assistance from 2 former IT employees who helped design the system. The presentation screen flickers momentarily before displaying a split screen. Victor's prepared slides on one side documented evidence of discrimination cases on the other. "What you're seeing," Beth's voice announces through the auditorium speakers, "is 20 years of systematic discrimination and intimidation tactics, authorized by Victor Hart personally." The security team rushes toward the control booth as Victor attempts to maintain composure. "We appear to be experiencing a technical issue," he states smoothly. "Security will handle this interruption promptly." Before the display can be disabled, the screens fill with internal memos detailing Containment Protocol Omega in Victor's own words. Financial pressure points must be identified and exploited until settlement terms are accepted. No exceptions. Simultaneously, court officers enter through 3 separate doors, approaching Victor with legal documents. "Mr. Hart, this is a temporary restraining order preventing the removal of Eli Hart from the country, pending investigation into allegations of witness intimidation and evidence." Tampering, announces the lead officer, a stern-faced woman, immune to Hart's influence. "Additionally, we have warrants authorizing the seizure of specific company records related to discriminatory practices dating back to 2005. Victor attempts to dismiss the interruption, his practiced smile tightening. "These are desperate attacks from failed competitors and disgruntled former employees seeking financial gain," he announces to shareholders. "Our legal team will address these baseless claims while we continue driving innovation and shareholder value." His dismissal is interrupted by an unexpected voice from the audience. "Point of order, Mr. Chairman," calls Vincent Crawford, a senior board member seated in the front row. "Given these serious allegations and pending legal actions, I move that we discuss potential liability exposure before proceeding with regular business." Several other board members previously briefed on the evidence second the motion. Crawford continues reading from a tablet. "Specifically, I request explanation regarding the 47 discrimination settlements costing over $300 million in the past decade, none of which were disclosed in risk assessment reports to this board." As Victor struggles to regain control of the meeting, a commotion at the main entrance draws all attention. Eli Hart walks slowly but steadily into the auditorium, using the prosthetic he and Anna designed. Beside him walks Anna, her hand supportively near his elbow, though he moves independently. Gloria follows with Grandma Josephine, accompanied by 2 federal investigators. Eli's appearance alert and clear-eyed, rather than sedated and confused as described in company statements, creates immediate murmurs throughout the room. He approaches the stage moving with the improved gait. Their prosthetic design enables each step a visible refutation of his father's claims about his condition. "My name is Eli Hart," he begins, his young voice carrying surprising authority in the hushed auditorium. "For 2 years, since losing my mother and my leg in the skiing accident, I've watched my father use Hart technologies to bully anyone who challenged him. When Anna Brookke helped me create a better prosthetic and discovered the truth about her parents' deaths in our factory, my father stole our design, terminated her scholarship, and had me drugged to prevent me from speaking out." Victor steps forward, face flushing. Eli is emotionally distressed and has been manipulated by "I haven't finished." Father Eli interrupts with unexpected composure. "Shareholders deserve the truth before making decisions about this company's future." He turns to address the audience directly. "My mother, Catherine Hart, founded this company's ethical review board before her death. She believed technology should empower people, not exploit them. She would be ashamed of what Hart Technologies has become." From his pocket, Eli retrieves a formal legal document. "My mother left controlling shares of Hart Technologies in a special trust for me with a clause allowing access before my 21st birthday in cases of moral necessity. As determined by the Ethical Review Committee, she established a committee. My father disbanded after her death, but never legally dissolved." The document, projected onto the screens through Beth's access, reveals Catherine Hart's foresight in protecting both her son and her company's ethical foundation. "I am exercising that clause today," Eli continues. "As the controlling shareholder, I call for a vote to place Hart Technologies under temporary management while federal investigators examine discriminatory practices and ethical violations." Victor lunges toward Eli, his carefully maintained facade finally cracking. This is absurd. He's a child. This document can't possibly be legally binding. Security personnel move uncertainly caught between following Victor's orders and respecting potential legal shareholders' rights. The federal investigators step forward, credentials displayed. Mr. Hart interfering with a shareholder vote would constitute securities fraud, one states firmly. Additionally, we have questions regarding approximately $70 million in company funds traced to offshore accounts designated for special containment operations. The shareholder meeting transforms into an approximately impromptu board referendum, with Vincent Crawford supervising an emergency vote that places Hart Technologies under temporary management pending full investigation. Victor Hart, facing multiple federal charges related to securities fraud, witness intimidation, and misappropriation of company funds, watches his empire slip from his control in a matter of hours. 6 months later, Westlake Academy undergoes comprehensive restructuring. Gloria Washington heads a newly established diversity board with actual authority rather than ceremonial titles. The scholarship program expands to 20 students from various backgrounds, with transparent selection criteria and independent oversight. Anna returns to complete her education, now joined by children representing the full spectrum of the community beyond the wealthy enclave. The Montgomery Wallace Foundation, established through Eli's trust and named in honor of Anna's parents, provides support for families affected by corporate discrimination while developing accessible technology for children with disabilities. Eli, now living with a court-appointed guardian while his father awaits trial, becomes a regular visitor at Grandma Josephine's new home purchased through the settlement finally awarded in the factory accident case. The improved prosthetic design, now properly credited to both Anna and Eli, enters production with profits directed toward making similar technology available to children regardless of financial circumstances. As a new school year begins, Anna and Eli lead the first-ever Westlake Academy Inclusive Robotics team, welcoming students from throughout the community. Their friendship, forged in adversity and strengthened through courage, has sparked a transformation far beyond what either could have imagined when a small girl stood up to protect a boy. Others had deemed unworthy, challenging not just schoolyard bullies, but an entire system built on prejudice and privilege. What's most remarkable about this story is how 2 6-year-olds accomplished what adults could not. They saw past differences of raceability and social status to recognize each other's true worth. Have you witnessed the power of friendship to overcome prejudice in your own life? Comment below with your experiences of unexpected alliances that made a difference. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like to help others find it. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories about courage, justice, and the strength that comes when we stand together against discrimination. Share this video with someone who needs a reminder that even the smallest voices can create the biggest changes when they speak truth to power. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Remember that in a world where money and power often seem to win, kindness and courage remain our most powerful tools for creating lasting change. This powerful story reminds us that true courage often comes from unexpected places. Anna and Eli teach us that friendship can transcend barriers of raceability and social status when we see each other's true worth. Their alliance demonstrates how prejudice thrives in systems designed to separate people based on their differences, and how connection becomes a revolutionary act. The story illustrates that discrimination isn't just about individual bullies, but often exists within institutions that protect power and privilege. Through Anna and Eli, we learn that even children can recognize injustice with clarity adults sometimes lack. Their journey shows that innovation flourishes when diverse perspectives collaborate without hierarchy or prejudice. Perhaps most importantly, this tale reveals how standing up against discrimination requires more than just good intentions. It demands courage, evidence, allies, and strategic thinking. The children's eventual triumph wasn't just about exposing one man's wrongdoing, but transforming an entire system that enabled discrimination. Their story teaches us that meaningful change comes when we refuse to accept the artificial limitations others place on us and instead recognize that our differences can become our greatest strengths when combined through genuine friendship and mutual respect. What moments in your life have you witnessed friendship overcoming prejudice and discrimination? Have you ever been underestimated because of who you are or where you come from? This story shows us that our differences can become our greatest strengths when we stand together against injustice. Comment below with a time when you or someone you know showed courage by standing up for what's right, even when it wasn't easy. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up so others can find this message of hope and transformation. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things in the face of adversity. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message about the power of unlikely friendships and standing up against discrimination, share this video with them today. Thank you for being part of our community that believes in a world where people are valued for who they are, not judged by appearances or circumstances. Together we can create the change we wish to see.